All right, welcome everyone. Pre-market prep at the close. Spencer Israel, Joel Elconin. Joel, you just said this was the sheriff of Nottingham Market, right? Because this is
Yeah.
the enemy of all Robinhood traders. Um, some people, like myself, have been waiting for a day like today for a month and a half, and it's here. So we're down 5.6% right now in the SPY. So we're not quite gonna get to that limit down today. The limit down is also doesn't happen after 3:15.
Right after 3:15. Yep.
So worst day for the market in a while, Joel. So let's talk through it because there's a lot of red. There is a little bit of green. If you look at
Where's the green?
look at the S&P 500, two stocks last I checked are green today. Kroger was one of them. The quarantine trade is back on wholly today. Look at the best performing stocks like Clorox and Netflix and EA, Take-Two, Campbell's Soup, Walmart, Target. These are the names that are down the least today. It's really everyone's down. I'll pull up a chart here of the S&P futures, Joel. Just I don't know, give us a level or something. We are below.
This is what you do.
We're
This
below
is what you do with your level sheet on a day like this, Spencer.
Yeah.
You take it and you rip it to pieces, okay? Because I do 150 point range in the S&P, 75 up and 75 and down, and my lowest number on the sheet was 12 points below the high of the intraday market. But we got a little relief pop off the open, that lower open. They danced around a little bit. We had a little bit of the Mnuchin rally saying that everything's going to be fine. Should have known that was going to be a bad sign when they had him on CNBC. Got the 3188 and a half, and then the sellers just came in. And to give it a little bit of perspective, though, just to say, well, things aren't too bad because that's the way everyone likes to look at things. Last week's low in the S&P 500 index. Last week's low, just last week, we traded down. Our low for last week was, let's see here, wasn't last week's low, but you had a daily low at 3106.50. Boom, we took that out. That was a low for last week. You did have one other low in there at 3087.50. So it wasn't last week's low, but it was only your 5-day low that you took out at 3106.50, snuck under 3,000. Who would have thunk that yesterday when we were trading up at 32.21 and getting a little bit of a rebound here. But FANG couldn't save us today, and I think that's the story. Your trash stocks became just that. The airlines, the banks that had turned around, they were just thrown out. And then you had the big boys that broke out yesterday, looked like they were a moonshot. Apple down 4%, Microsoft down 4%, Amazon down 2.5%, Google down 3.7%, Facebook down 5%. So when the trash goes down and then the big boys go down, the generals, this is what happens. So much needed correction in the market. Is this the buy the dip opportunity that we've all been waiting for? I think Dennis will come on tomorrow and say, I don't know if I'm buying here the first day.
I don't know because I was wrong for 2 months. I was waiting pretty much from April because we got that rally there at the end of March, and then from April onward, I was waiting for today, and it didn't come for 2 months, and I was wrong for 2 months, and I did nothing, and I missed my chance for 2 months, and so now I don't know. This is why if you're an investor, just have a plan and stick to your plan. If you're trading this, go with the trend, and the trend is obviously down right now, so go with that until the market says otherwise.
I mean, all-time highs were a foregone conclusion, right? When we were at 32.20, and a couple different factors. Number one, the Fed. The Fed wasn't exactly friendly yesterday. I mean, JP didn't exactly say what you wanted to hear, right?
I thought he was realistic. I thought he was very candid.
Yeah, as opposed to when he was on 60 Minutes. I mean, very confusing market. If you try and analyze this by what Jerome Powell says or what the Fed does, very difficult. We are dealing with an extremely dynamic situation with the COVID-19, and we got bad news. I mean, what's going on in Arizona, Texas, who was in a big hurry to open up. It's definitely when we talked about the last couple of weeks, people are like, well, what's going to make the market going to go down? It was like a second wave. And I can't even call this a second wave, but you had your trash, you had your Boeing, your airlines, your Hertz. This is the Sheriff Nottingham Day. That's the only thing I could say. I had to look up the enemy of Robin Hood, and boy, oh boy, I hope their servers are holding up today. And we're not trying to make individual fun, but it's like you buy bankrupt stocks, what's going to happen?
I haven't looked at the Hertzes of the world, but here, so this is another concern now. Now that we got our first big washout, there are all these people that are in Boeing and the airlines and the cruise lines, and they're in here from levels that we saw last week, right? So now we have some overhead demand a little bit. Now, does that create some pressure?
Overhead supply, yeah.
Does that create some pressure and sort of make it so that in order for us to get back to these levels, you have to swim against the tide a little bit? You know what I mean?
Big time. Yeah. Because who knows? Maybe these guys are nimble. I can't, maybe they all got out yesterday, or maybe they listened to Benzinga's pre-market prep show last Friday when Dennis was talking about those stocks and they were selling instead of buying. But regardless of what the retail traders did, regardless, the institutions, the only way I can look at it is that they were just happily selling out of their June, the last couple days, the June contract, and saying, you know what, I'll sell here and I'm going to wait to get long the September, if they even want to get long. You don't even know if they flip to a short. So instead of rolling over the contracts over the last couple of days, they were just selling into the high of the move. They weren't buying SEP. And now if they want to, reinitiate their positions, 200 points lower in the S&Ps. So, the big boys are out of there, in the playground. And, I always suspect these kind of things and, can effectively play it. But this one went way, 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 way beyond my expectation. Sheriff Nottingham likes my, or William Lay likes my Sheriff of Nottingham.
I'm trying to remember, on this morning show, did Mark Chaikin say
3,000?
He said 3,000 or 3,100. I couldn't remember.
He was joking. He goes, I think you see a dip under 3,000. And I'm like, today?
No. I thought you were joking. He was serious, but
he was serious. But then I said today, and I was,
you were right.
said it.
You were right.
I said it kind of tongue in cheek. But these are tough days for investors. You got to listen to the pre-market prep show. You got to do your own homework, folks. Like when you guys are asking us, Dennis and I and Spencer, about stocks, we give us our best opinion. Very conservative investor. I don't know about you, Spencer, but
I'm the most conservative.
Very conservative. The overnight trading that Dennis does is a lot hedged. Yeah. Max B said, I said during the show. So a lot of his overnight trading is, he does it, if he's shorting the stock up 2%, he's buying the SPOOs up 0.5%, and he's not even really looking at the prices. He's just looking for the arbitrage to come in the equilibrium on the open. So, he does some outlight, flyers and things like that. And then you heard him whining about his overnight portfolio and being underinvested. So look, I don't know if he's buying the dip today. It'll be interesting to talk to him tomorrow. I know he's going to be trading his ASS butt off tonight and tomorrow morning. I don't know if we'll even get him on show tomorrow with this kind of activity. But it's a dip. And if people are saying, is this the dip to buy? hey, do you have stocks that were on your shopping list? Did you want to buy Procter and Gamble at 116? Then buy Procter and Gamble
Yeah.
at
Yeah,
116.
exactly.
Yeah, I mean that's what you got to do in these kind of markets. Because I don't think this is a one-day thing. I don't think that 29.96 and a quarter the low from today. I
Yeah.
don't even know if that's going to end up being the low for today. No, this is so minimum. I know we had a little. They said, "Oh, this is like the third day in a row." This is a down day. This is the one that gets people going.
Mhm.
This is when I mean, who knows what's going to happen overnight? But yeah, I mean, it's definitely Siesta Mike saying Triple D will be on the show tomorrow, but with crazy hair. Yeah, what?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
probably true. That's probably true.
yeah. Good perspective, but
Yeah.
the shows were getting kind of boring. Oh, we're going up. Hey, Rob, shows going up, stocks going up every day, boring,
Yeah.
nothing to talk about. We were like ready to can the 340 show, but the 340 show is back with some vigor here,
Yeah.
because this is the markets. This is the kind of markets that provide a lot of opportunity on the downside and on the upside as well.
Yep. And I'm with you, Joel. I'm a pretty conservative investor. I have most of my assets are in just broad-based mutual funds and ETFs. But I do pick stocks, and I'll do buy some ETFs that are more niche. I have a couple on my shopping list that I missed out on last time around. I missed out on IBB. I'm going to take a hard look at IBB today, and potentially come in tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
I
Let's take a look at it. Let's take a
yeah.
look
I
at the
mean, I missed it. I got cute with my orders, and I didn't quite get it. And then I thought, no, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna let the fund, let the ETF come to me because I'm right. Of course, I'm right. Everyone else is wrong. That didn't work out. So this is now my chance. I've wanted to own it for a while, and I missed it. And I
Okay.
I,
Well,
lear- I,
just
lear- I learned my lesson.
we'll
I'm
take
gonna.
a good look at that monthly chart from 2015.
I know
And
you always refer to this. You always refer to that.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, just you know, but like, be cautious. I mean, this definitely is a dip, right? Is this the dip to buy? Who knows? There's a lot
Who
of
knows?
uncertainties.
Who
But
knows?
let's cover some stocks.
Yeah. Okay. Any tickers in the chat? Drop them in there. I wanted.
I do want to walk over a trade that we outlined this morning,
Okay. What was that?
and it looked good. I mean, it was a good short-term trade. Now you'd be stopped out. We did that Wells Fargo setup for you,
Yep.
right?
Mhm.
It was traded below the 50% retracement. We talked about the open. It had a 27.20 open. It dipped to 27.02, I think, and then came back up through that open, and it ripped up to 28.42. Now, if you were doing this for a long-term trade or a swing trade, there wasn't any kind of profit or no profit in it now. But still, considering the carnage in the market, you're only down 40 cents in it. But that's just the whoops trade. I wrote that up, and it's just something we're using that opening price. Can be a big helper. Akash traded it after Triple D talked about it, and I sure hope you got out, Akash. That was a good looking trade for about, I don't know, hour and a half. There was a good pop. There was a sympathy pop off the open. But once we came down through that pre-market low, it was like, woohoo, no chance at all in this market. But what else you want to look at?
Well, I was reminded that there were a few earnings that of interest after the close today. So let's look at here. Lulu, Adobe, and those are the big two that I'm interested in. Lulu and Adobe.
Okay,
So,
I was wrong. I think I said on my hot mic that Adobe already reported. This is what I have to say about Lululemon. Okay. Well, first of all, I got a pair of pants there before the COVID-19, and I want to take them back. So that won't be reflected in the quarter. They're still sitting on my
no, they're still sitting on your
chair
show.
in my room. But boy, oh boy. I mean, if you're taking this into the report and you bought this thing and it went from what did this go? It went from 128.85,
Jeez.
made a new all-time high at 324.76 while the stores were closed. then they just be doing one hell of a job. I can guarantee you 100% if I had this stock in my portfolio, and I don't sell stocks in and out of my portfolio based on earnings, I would be selling this stock. This is not investment advice, but what more could you be hoping for if you bought this stock between March and, and even a week ago?
I don't know.
Um,
And also, how many times have we said that the sentiment on the day you report matters?
yeah,
And today is not the kind of day they might have an amazing report, but today is not the kind of day
people are not going to be
you
in the
want to
mood.
report earnings. It just isn't.
Yeah. If you want, if you want, just use some daily highs in this. I mean, if you get a pop up to 321.10, that was the high from today. That could be a good level. See where it closes today, and that will be where people are being marked. So that's really, that's what I have to say about that one. Or at least buy some puts. I mean, they're probably expensive. How same thing with Adobe. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're buying this looking for an earnings beat, good luck. People have been buying this thing since middle March. So be tough, and who knows the sentiment tomorrow, right? Regarding the market. I mean, we could be limit down, we could be up 50 handles. So a lot of things. But right now, people are going to be a little bit tentative here on earnings reports. It's a Friday, it's the last day of the week, and 96 and a quarter is holding up, and we'll see if it can hold up for the remainder of the session.
All right.
You know what? I'm really kicking myself too, because
Why?
after the close yesterday,
What'd
I
you do?
said, you know what? I said, I think it's going to be, how the last couple of weeks we've ended the session, the week, like on the high or just off the high. And I'm like, you know what? I think this has a lot of potential to be the Friday low trick, the low for the week. I didn't imagine that it would be,
Oh,
185 handles lower than we are now, and we still got tomorrow to trade. But end of the week cleaning up here. S&P's 3 minutes to go, trying to hang in the 3,000 handle. Not sure if we're going to be able to do it. The current low is 96 and a quarter. I don't think imbalances matter on a day like this. So,
well, you can guess what it is, which direction it's in. It's a sell imbalance.
yep.
So
Yep.
the other thing is like, so if you're someone like me and you've been waiting on a day like today for 2 months now, we're down what 5% today, 5.5%. Okay, I'm still way wrong, right? If I've been waiting since the S&Ps were at 2,400, and I've been waiting for a retest of the lows, I'm still extremely wrong. So waiting for the big whoosh doesn't mean you're going to be right. I still would have been better off buying what I wanted to buy 2 months ago.
Of course.
So just waiting doesn't always pay. Even on days like today, which suck in the moment. Sometimes the whoosh downward won't get you back to where you were. We're still only back to where we were a couple of weeks ago.
That's why, for the majority, the stuff that I talk about, the shorter term stuff, but
Yeah.
majority, I mean, Dennis and I are different investors. I mean, he's
Oh,
buying this stock, he's looking at earnings, he's doing this, he's doing that.
he's a crazy investor.
Yeah,
He's a
and
crazy investor.
he's got a CFA.
Yeah.
And I over the years, and I do have some individual stocks, but just over the years, I look at my portfolio in the end of the year, and I'm like, well, the S&P kicked my ass again. Okay, so I'm not great. So and I won't say a majority of the funds, but a balanced portfolio. If I'm having my funds, and that's what I tell young people too, having your money in the S&P, you have a pretty good gauge. Dennis is like but even after he picks out those 70, 80, 90 stocks that he has,
Those Hasselman within
he still has the S&P 500, so it's,
sure.
but I love hearing him talking about the stocks. I love the setups. I do have some individual ones in there. A lot of the winners I can attribute to Lisa. Some of the losers I can attribute to Lisa too.
Sure. Hey, real fast. I asked for tickers and then didn't bring any up.
What are you doing? Let's do it. Let's fire away.
Let's do Barrick Gold. Ticker is GOLD.
Man, this gold's just driving me crazy. I had this GDX for a long time, and I look at it, and gold's up, and it seems like I'm never up a lot in it. I mean, gold. You know what I just did? I did ABX. That's how old I am, folks.
Hey, they only changed it last year, right? It's not.
Yeah,
It wasn't that long ago.
man, you've had a trading range since the middle of April. So until we bust out of that trading range, and let's just call that on the dailies 22.25. You kind of kissed it this week at 22.13. I like it. I like you're in a trading range. Really, I mean, if you want this thing to really get off to the races, man, you got to clear out this seller here at just over $28. 3 highs in a row, 4 highs in a row, 28.10. 28.36 trading range so far here in that. And if you look at it, we're just kind of in the middle of the trading range. But, on a day like this, gold should really catch a bid, but sometimes what happens is that people, people liquidate gold too. They're because of some of the stocks that they're holding.
Right.
They're forced to liquidate their gold. Tough market. I got a little bit of the GDX. Doesn't seem to go anywhere for me. But when you eventually get that major breakout above 1770, 1780, it might get a little more interesting. Or if you can finally, what the lows are there, 1660, 1670. So trading range.
Yeah. All right. Tomorrow's show will be a fun one. You're right, Joel. They were getting a little boring. They were getting a little bit more like 2017, 2016, where it just market goes up every day. Tomorrow will be fun. We got our first bout of real volatility in a couple months. So that was interesting. I hope everyone stayed safe in their trades today and didn't get cut too badly. We'll see what's in store for us in the overnight session. Thanks to everyone who stopped by today for the afternoon show. Please remember that all the information from this broadcast is meant to be used as informational purposes, not for investing or trading advice. As they say, tips are for waiters. Everyone have a great rest of your Thursday, and I promise you we'll be back, limit down or not. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning. Have a good one.